We use words like caste, varn, jat. What do they mean? In India, we use these words to understand a person's status. Today, if you have more money or power or a better education, then you have a higher status. Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm reading book Devlok with Devdutt Patnayak, and today I'm start reading part 22 1. So, let's continue. In traditional Indian society, one's status came from his jat. Jat is a big word which implies you are a member of a certain community. India has 4,000 to 5,000 jatis throughout the country across all regions. All those who invaded India, like the British, Portuguese, Mughals, Sultans, and Central Asians, observed that an individual never existed by himself. He was always associated with a group. These groups followed a rule: roti and beti, food and daughter. Under this, one community would not share their food or marry their daughters with other communities. For instance, when Ibn Battuta visited India, he thought they were like Kabili or tribal people. Later, the sultans and Mughals said these were all different qaums, nations. These were different labels, but the word Jat was always used. The Portuguese explorers called it caste, a word that was used for the Jatis in Europe. There, it was about pure blood or mixed blood. Whether someone was Jewish or Muslim, belonged to royalty, and so on. They felt the system of jatis was similar to their system of caste. So the word caste was brought from Europe to India by the Portuguese. The British further confirmed that usage, and so the word jati and caste came to be associated. Then the British started researching the origins of the caste system. One group was in India, the other was studied in European universities. While translating the Vedas and the Purans, they found the word Varna. This word, they said, probably gave rise to the caste system, and they equated the words Jati and Varna. Though in everyday language the word Jati and not Varna is used. Varn is a Sanskrit word and there are only four Varns as described in the Vedas and the Purans. But there are thousands of jatis. Varn was used in the Vedas. Was it also used in the Purans and Manusmriti? The Europeans understood Varn as rang or color. They had issues of race and ethnicity in their countries, and so they said jati was similarly associated with race or color. They brought their ideas here, but it is not so simple to understand one. In the Vedas, in the Purusha Shukta, it is said that the society is like a Purush, man, whose head is Brahmin, arm is Kshatriya, thigh is Vaishya, and foot Shudra. These are the four words. But here, as well as in the Bhagavad Gita, the implication is psychological. It is about one's qualities or good. In the world, any society contains four kinds of people: the intellectual, Brahmins, the physically strong or warrior, Kshatriya, the money minded, Vaishyas, and the servile or the service minded, Shudras. But jati is used in sociological terms how society is organized. In Vedic society, the reality was very different from these theoretical four words. Brahmins performed yajna, Kshatriya were the ones controlling land, and all other were called Vish. It was very difficult to classify cowherds, farmers, charioteers, and potters. Who was Vaishya and who was Shudra? Mostly, if you were not a Brahmin or a warrior, you were a Vish. The use of the four words to classify jati began 2000 years ago in the Manusmriti and other Dharma Shastra. There were so many jatis: Kama, Reddy in Andhra Pradesh, Maratha in Maharashtra, Jat in Haryana, Karn in Odisha, that they were all organized in four boxes, as it were. The Manusmriti joined Varn and Jati together. In the Shastra, a new custom called Shuddhikaran was introduced. Some jatis were described as Shuddh, pure, and some as Ashuddh, impure. This is a horrific concept. It was not only about identifying the jatis but was also imposed on daily activities and cultural practices. For instance, in some houses, you cannot enter a temple or eat food without bathing, as you are considered Ashuddh. Menstruating women are considered Ashuddh and kept apart. A few days after childbirth, people do not enter the new mother's house and bar her entry into the kitchen, as she is believed to be Ashuddh. This is known as the confinement period. Even if you have fever, you are Ashuddh. But they also termed entire jatis as Ashuddh because of some of their practices. This is a most dreadful idea. The origin of this is not very clear. Some say Manu wrote it, others say it started with the Brahmins who declared they were the purest, that they sat in temples and those whom they did not allow were Ashuddh. Entire sections of people like the leather industry, workers, cleaners, or workers in crematoriums were marked as Ashuddh. These could not drink water from the village well because they would pollute the water. Some had to wear a pot around their neck so that their spit would not touch the ground. Some had to wipe their footprints behind them. The concept of Shuddhikaran was extremely humiliating and denied even basic humanity and dignity to those people. The rishis were disturbed by this because this had nothing to do with Vedanta or self knowledge, Atmagyan. They attempted to explain this through the god's example. They posed the question, who looks for Aukat status? Only those who do not have self knowledge. One who has understood or experienced the Param Atma, the enlightened, expanded mind, will not go looking for Aukat. Shiv, who is a Swambhu, Param Atma himself, is beyond these shallow concepts of high and low. Once Daksh Prajapati is organizing a yajna. When Shiv arrives, he is turned away by the king who considers him Ashuddha. Because of his association with bhoots and pishachas, ghosts, Shiv is unmoved. But Daksh Prajapati's daughter, Sati, Shiv's wife, is upset by this and wants Shiv to be allowed in the yajna. Father and daughter quarreled about it. She says her husband is a Paramatma. He has self knowledge. He does not understand the king's concept of high and low. So, this is it for today. I'll continue this part in my next video. Till then, keep listening beautiful stories and keep smiling.